Hey guys, this week we're back. Moonlight Sports presents. We're doing the Hall of Almost. What does that mean? If you almost made the Hall of Fame. So the way we're saying that is in the last 50 years, if you received over 10% of the vote and didn't eventually make the Hall of Fame, and you're no longer Hall of Fame eligible, um, you qualify to be on this team. It's not a big scope, guys. There's only 43 players in the last 50 years that qualified that have got over 10% and still didn't make the Hall of Fame and are no longer on the ballot. So it's going to be a tough one. We're going to have to sort of figure things out, see where play a little game of Tetris, see where people fit. I'm telling you right now, spoiler: the pitchers are not deep. So we'll see how this team does. Stay tuned. Let's see how we do it. Let's go. All right, let's jump into it. We got the notebook. The Hall of Almost starts right now. So here's the question: are we going to count Clemenses, the Bondses, the Maguires, the steroid guys as Hall Sosas as the almost or not? And I'm gonna say not. Why am I gonna say not? Because they'd be in the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for steroids. So it's not like they were almost Hall of Famers. They're not Hall of Famers because they've got punished. In my head, that makes sense. So let's jump into it. Of course, you guys know I always start with pitchers. So let's put the list of pitchers. We got Don Newcomb. We got Earl Hershiser. I remember growing up, Earl Hershiser was like such a guy. You never even hear his name anymore unless he's calling a Dodger game. We got Luis Tiant. We got Mickey Lolich. We got Kurt Schilling, who that is the definition of almost. The guy's like that far from it. There's Tommy John. We've got some relievers like Sparky Lyle, Roy Face, Don Larson, and then there's a couple other guys that are other starter pitchers that we're going to have to probably use a few of these guys. I'm not as familiar with their careers, so it's Lou. So, we'll get into those guys later. Let's jump into the guys that we already know. I think we'll have enough innings to do a 4-man rotation. The question is, who's the 4? I think we're going to, you know what, I'm going to type in Schilling here, but, okay, I can't do that yet. Okay, we're going to type in Schilling here, but I will be, cognizant of the fact that he does have some good lower innings and cheaper seasons that we can make him a reliever. And I'm only saying that because, as I've learned in this game, relieving is important. And sometimes with these teams where it was a limited scope of players, getting good relievers is tough. So we're actually not going to start with him. We're going to start with Luis Tiant. But I wrote Luis Taint. And that's not how you spell his name. He's not Luis Taint. He's Luis Tiant. I didn't know that he was a Yankee. Played the Yankees a couple years. I always liked him as a Red Sox. Okay, so he's got a monster 68, but that might be a little too expensive. This is probably the year 73. Gives up a lot of homers, which we hate, but doesn't give up a lot of hits. And you guys got a great strikeout to walk ratio. Okay, so maybe we'll take Tiant, and then we'll just sort of put us in a big old ballpark. Okay, so we got Tiant. ERA plus. Next guy we're going to look at is our guy, Earl Hershiser. Get your mind out of the gutters, boys and girls. Earl spelled with an E. He had, what year did he have that streak of scoreless innings? I don't remember. I want to say it was like 89, but maybe it was 88. He's got a bunch of good years. Again, this year's a really big year, but probably a little too expensive. Again, we're going to want about 250 innings, so it's probably going to be one of these 4 years. Again, this one has a little bit high on there. I'm thinking we're just going to go this one. Gives up more hits, walks more guys, but gives up less homers. You know what? We're gonna try to. This one is so much better. That's the problem. This one and this one are pretty close. Okay, we're gonna go with this one. If we for some reason have $1,000,000 left, I'm gonna put a little 1,000,000. 1 mil. If we have for some reason 1,000,000 left at the end of this, or close to 1,000,000 left, we might go back to that. Okay, now we're gonna look at Mickey Lolich. We're basically gonna have to. I mean, there are again some of those other starters that we haven't mentioned yet that we could put in, but I like at least staying with guys that I know personally. Okay, so Lolich is a inning eater. Doesn't have as many sort of big time seasons though. The thing is, it's like if he can't get through 6 innings, what does it matter, right? So this one doesn't have enough lot of innings. Doesn't have a lot of innings. Honestly, I think we're just gonna go with this one because it's innings and he's good enough. Good strikeout to walk ratios. Yeah, it's okay. Good opponent batting average. Does give up homers. How's our homers per? Homers per is a little high. We might be choosing a. Okay. Now we could look at Tommy John or we could look at Don Newcomb. I'm pretty sure Tommy John has a couple good sort of relievery years. So we're gonna look at Newcomb. Sorry for that. Okay. Don Newcomb. Oh wait. There's a bunch of Sean's in here. I don't care about Sean Newcomb. He's not even near a Hall of Famer. Okay, he actually has a bunch of sort of season. Oh, wait, we don't have our filters the way we want. Okay. Again, all of these guys had over 10% of the vote, but did not get in. And, okay, so I'm thinking this one has 250. Really good strikeout to walk ratio, especially for that time. Okay, we're into it. We're into 49. Okay, we spent about 29. What is 29 divided by 40? It should be about 70%, hopefully. 72. Okay, so we're right about where we want to be. Okay, now we're jumping into the relievers. We've got 5 guys that we feel like we're definitely going to use here. And let's start with Schilling. And we're going to look at. There's a lot of Kurt Schilling. Okay, Kurt Schilling. Again, a lot of homers. This Kurt Schilling's pretty good. Because a real early Schilling doesn't give up homers, doesn't give up hits. Okay. Not a lot of innings, but could potentially bring down. I mean, this one is also really good, 2.6. Really good strikeout to walk ratio. Okay, actually, you know what? We're going to take this Schilling because we want some money relievers. Okay. Next up, we're going to look at Tommy John. Look at all these Tommy John seasons. And I do think he has, only because I've looked at him for other teams, I do believe he has like a pretty good, or maybe this was what I was thinking of. Is this kind of expensive? I thought he had like a year where he was like, I mean, this year's fine. It'll bring down the cost. Or we could just go really cheap Tommy John and make him, you know what? Unless we see something that we really like, yeah. We might go back to this 86 Tommy John, but right now we're going to use this Tommy John just as our mop-up guy. I'm going to put him in a little parentheses in case we want to come back to him. Okay, Roy Face and Sparky Lyle, I believe, are going to give us our best relieving, our legit relievers. Like, look how good this Sparky Lyle is. I didn't know Sparky Lyle played on the Rangers, to be honest. I knew he was a Yankee. I knew he was a Red Sox. Okay, this is a really nice one. Kind of would like 4.6. Strikeout to walk isn't exactly where I want it to be. Home runs are a little high as well. This one, oh, this one's really good. Okay, we're gonna take this 73. Sparky. We've got about $5 million left. Let's go look at Roy Face. Okay. The question is, can I put this in the right field? Roy Face. I didn't know he played for the Tigers. I thought he played for the Pirates his whole life. Okay. Ooh. This is a pretty good Roy Face. This is a good one, and it's a lot cheaper. Good strikeout to walk ratio. Okay, let's take. Let's take this one. Although, do we want that one? Let's take this one. I reserve the right to change my mind. How many innings do we need? We only need like 30 more innings. So I think we're just gonna get a good Don Larson. I don't actually think Don Larson was that good. If you look at his numbers, I wasn't alive. Maybe he was better than his numbers said. He pitched a perfect game in the World Series, and that's why people remember him. But really, like, was he that good? He's got some okay seasons. Not terrible. I wish I could see how much money I had left. Like, should I just splurge and just grab this one? Okay, let's just see how much money that leaves with me. Okay, if we went there, we're a little over. But that's a really good pitching, Don Larson. Okay, so then the bullpen would be kind of like, I don't know, we'd probably have Face or Sparky closing, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only have 5 relievers, which is a lot less than we usually like, especially considering one of them is basically a mop up. But it would be like, okay, we're gonna try it. Actually, you know what? We're gonna end up. What do you guys think? We're gonna end up needing to fill out this lineup, right? So we need 16 guys left, which is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Like, we're gonna have to just add roster spots, even if they're like close to minimum contracts. So I don't actually think we're gonna be able to afford that Don Larson, unfortunately. So let's look this up again and get this one. Much less sexy. Still gives us over the innings. And we could, okay, so the other possible pitchers that we have would be Vic Rishi from the Yankees, Allie Reynolds from the Yankees, Lou Burdette from, I believe, the Twins, and Johnny Sane. Not Johnny Sin, Johnny Sane from, I don't actually know what team he played for. I want to say the Braves. Okay, so let's just see if we could get a couple just guys. Think about them; they're all starters, I believe, so they might not have cheap seasons. Type in Reynolds, like there's like only gonna be one Alec Reynolds. See, like he's gonna have no cheap seasons. Um, Vic Rishi, he's gonna have no cheap seasons. Bird, who? Okay, he's got a cheap-ish season. That's probably like a waste of 900,000, but okay. Let's just look at Johnny Sane. Okay, we're just gonna take this Johnny Sane just to eat some innings here. I mean, not even like that we have innings, but just to like take a roster spot. Okay. For some reason, we find ourselves with 1.5. We'll take down Lush. Okay. Now let's get into the offense. This part's going to get a little maybe hairy, a little more interesting because we will have options here. And when you have options, you got to make decisions. So, catcher, there's three catchers. There's Elston Howard, Yankee. There's Thurman Munson, Yankee. And then there's Walker Cooper, who I don't know who that is, if I'm going to be honest. So these are the two guys we're going to start with. I kind of, in my head, wanted to just do like a platoon of Elston Howard and Thurman Munson. I don't know if the salaries will allow me to do that though. So if we did that, right, we're going to want about 650 innings, which is, what is that divided by 2? 650 divided by 2 is what, 325? So we'd be looking at about like 400 to 3. Like we'd be looking at like this sort of world. None of these ones really hit except for this one. And that's a really good fielder too. So maybe if that fits, if he's a really good fielder in all these years. Okay, so we could do maybe a 3.3 Howard with 460 at bats. Or we could go kind of cheaper. There's a really good fielding one. We could go like 2 mil. This guy cannot hit at all, really. But for 345 at bats, or we can sort of split the difference. 380 at bats and some hits. Okay. Let's see how the Munsons. There was no cheap, just like cheap one. We could 1.5. I mean, I guess you could do. Okay. There. If there's for some reason like a 500 plate appearance Munson, that's kind of cheap. Maybe we'll do that. But that now, I mean, 4, 5. That's like $5.5 million just to have that Munson. Okay. I mean, this one has a lot of. Okay, so this is like the one we'd have to key in on, and he doesn't really hit either. And he is a good fielder, but he doesn't really hit. This one is an average hitter. The good ones are more expensive. Okay. This one does give me some first base flexibility. So if we did 420 plus 360, I mean, we'd have more than enough at bats, but we'd still be spending $5 million on a catcher that can't hit. And I don't really want to do that. So we might try to go kind of cheap. We might try to go really cheap. Okay, what is this? 3.7. Let's see what this works. Let's see how this money works out. If we go that, and if we go Howard, Elston. Oh, we get some extra Elston Howards because I guess he played outfield sometimes or first base as a primary position. Like, okay, now I have to actually, now that they've put some additional screwballs in here, like just Elston Howard hits and he fields well. He has some power. He's only $3 million and gives us 500 bats. What's wrong with having? Okay, we're gonna take this Elston Howard. This is like a cheat code I found. 500. Now we have way too many at bats and way too many. So now we're gonna change this Munson. Okay, hold on. Return address. Let me just see something. So we have 500. So we want about 150 ish plate appearances for under $2 million. Okay, Munson. Thurman Munson. That's just not enough. Dang it. I know what we said. We're going to make a liar out of myself. And we're going to take a Walker Cooper. Because we could get this one, or we could get this one. He's really cheap. Should fill out the innings. Doesn't really do anything that good. We'll just take this one. 150 innings. Doesn't really do anything that good. It's cheap enough for us. Okay. I get a 658 innings from the catcher. Okay. Should we flip this to make it look right? I guess so. Okay. You guys are going to have to watch me do a little bit of housekeeping here. 59, Elston Howard. Hmm. 1959 Elston Howard. And then we'll go Walker Cooper. Keep wanting to say Alice Cooper. Okay, Walker Cooper. And what was it? It was the cheapest one, right? Okay. And that's pretty cheap for a 650 plate appearances catcher. Now, is that going to be enough plate appearances? We'll find out. Okay, first base. We're taking McGuire and Palmeiro off the table. Sorry, guys. Again, this is the Hall of Almost, not the Hall of, And then we're going to have Mattingly. We're going to have Keith. We're going to have Garvey. And then there's a few other guys. You know what? We're not going to do first base yet. I'm sorry. Let's go back. Second base. I'm just looking at sort of the positions and trying to figure out who we're sort of penned in on. And there's only one second baseman. I guess technically there's two, maybe three or four, but there's only one that we really know, and that's Jeff Kent. So let's look at a nice Jeff Kent year. Part of me just wants to take a monster Kent. This isn't as monstery as I thought it would be, if I'm going to be honest. Doesn't hit as well. This one doesn't necessarily have the plate appearances. This one's got good range and pretty good power. And a lot of plate appearances, and he's under 5. This one doesn't really have the plate appearances. Okay, we're going to take this Kent. It's not the best, but it's we could bat this guy 6th and feel not terrible about it. Okay, so Kent is taken. Now we have third base. Again, we do have a couple guys that are, you know what, we're going to take some of these bench players. No, we're not going to take the bench players yet. We're going to look at third base, and we're going to look at Dick Allen, who similarly to Cooper, I think we can maybe grab him. There is also Ken Boyer, but I do think we can maybe get Ken Boyer in the outfield. And Dick Allen, I do think smashes balls. Like this, smashes balls. We are including secondary positions. Why are there not more Dick Allen years? I wonder if there was some years where he just played first base and he got no third base run. Because if you see, he's a terrible fielder. But we have so many other first basemen that we're not gonna use that bullet on him. Okay, this year doesn't have a lot of plate appearances, but he absolutely smashes. The question is, okay, we're gonna take this one. Gives us more plate appearances, still gives us his power. I do like the fact that he can play second and short on this, even though he doesn't play it well. Okay, we're gonna take this one. I do think that our bench is gonna be have a little more money in it than usual, so I'm kind of fine with that. Okay, so we got Dick Allen at third. Okay, shortstops were between two guys really. That's Maury Wills and Dave Concepcion. And if I'm gonna be honest, you know what? We're gonna go with Wills. I think because if one of these guys is a lefty, we'll definitely go with lefty. Okay, he's a short hitter. Well, what I'm thinking of is bench. So we could take this bench. Wills, he's cheap. Gives us a good glove, even though he gives us no range at both of those positions. Or we could take Concepcion. I thought that Concepcion had a cheaper. Oh no, he's got this year where. See, that's the thing. Okay. I kind of wonder if we could get a Platoony. Get Looney with a Platoony here. Let's say we took this 350. Gives us plus fielding. Could also play the outfield. I mean, some of these years he gives us so many at bats and he doesn't really hit. Like, maybe we take this and we kind of platoon him and play him all over the place. He doesn't have any range. If I'm getting Concepcion, I want some range. See, what I was thinking about it was like this would be a nice bench player too, but okay. Let's look at Maury Wills again. Again, we do have some backup guys in the back of our pocket. Guys, I don't actually know who they are, but I'm not really familiar with. I know who they are, but I'm not familiar with them. Like I kind of I just like that fielding. So Maury Wills never really gives us a plus bat. Three 7 plus 3 6. Then we can play him at second. The thing is, Kent has a lot of at bats. I don't really need him for second base. Play him at short, and then we can play the Concepcion around the world. And yeah. Okay, I think we're overthinking this. I think we're gonna go Conceps. I think we're gonna go with kind of a cheap Dave Concepcion. A lot of at bats and a good. I wish this one had more because he fields so well. Okay, I think we're going really cheap, and this is gonna maybe be our downfall. Like the D- to the D+. Is that really worth $200,000? This one's better here. Okay, we're gonna take this Dave Concepcion. We're gonna take that Maury Wills. We don't really have any. He's our only sort of middle of the lineup hitter right now. So the next four guys are basically going to have to be like our 1, 2, 3, 4 hitters. um, let's fill out this bench. So I know how much money I could really go in on here. Okay. So bench players. We want another infielder. So here are the guys that we have. There's Harvey Kuhn, probably saying that name wrong. There's Marty Marion, and there's Al Dark. Those are going to be sort of the. Okay, we're back. We're looking at some middle and some. Okay, so this is like perfect. 160 innings, plays everywhere, gives us some bat. Or do we want to go the 200 innings? We want to go the full season, the half season or the full season. Let's save some money because I do think we're probably going to have an extended bench. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. We're probably going to have multiple guys out there. So, okay, we got Al Dark. And let's see if there's a Harvey Kuhn that's like just cheap. U before E except after K, apparently. Yeah, this is cheap. He plays first in the outfield. Perfect. Okay. We're sort of just throwing in. We're going to have a large bench. 7. 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 3 roster spots left, not including the starters, obviously. And I don't think I need that big of a bench, but like I said, this bench might be a little bloated. Okay. Outfielders. Again, we want some guys that are sort of cheap. I think there's not Barry. Again, we're not doing Barry because he's not an almost. He's a Hall of Shame. Okay, so we're gonna look at Bobby Bonds. I thought there was cheaper. I mean, we're still looking at Bobby Bonds. Barry Bonds. We want Bobby Bonds because I'm pretty sure there's a cheapish Bobby Bonds. Okay, cheap enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He plays everywhere. He plays everywhere. He plays multiple positions. We'll look at one more guy in the outfield. I'm just trying to think. I wonder if there's a cheap. Let's look if there's a. Yeah, this is my problem. I don't think there's going to be too many cheap. Vida Pinzone. Am I spelling this guy's name wrong? How do you spell Vida Pinzone? Vida. Vada. It's Vada, not Vida. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have 4. How much money do we have left? Salary, available cash, 22 divided by 5 is 4.4. Okay, let's try to get one more cheap player. I wonder if there's another cheap pitcher. Did we look at Burdett? I'm pretty sure we looked at all these pitchers. I'm pretty sure there was no one that was cheaper than a mill, right? $21 divided by 4. I think that'll get us over the number we want. 5.25. Perfect. Okay. Now let's hit this outfield. Okay, let's first, like we said, this is going to be all right. Let's list our outfield options. Okay, our outfield options are Dale Murphy, or Dwight Evans, or Dave Parker, Kurt Flood, the man who invented free agency, uh, Maris, Dom DiMaggio, and Phil Cavaretta. I don't actually know who that last guy is, to be honest, so he's going to be the last on our list. We want a fielder, and I know that Kurt Floyd, was a really good fielder. We always like starting with, like, someone who we could put in the outfield. No, Kurt Floyd's a really good fielder at all A+ ages. But that said, he's really expensive. I mean, like, this year would be really good because it's like I could bat him leadoff, 388 on base, B+, A+. But those are all really expensive years. I think I know DiMaggio. I mean, like, the thing about DiMaggio is that I've used him in other places. I don't like reusing guys, but I just really love that I can go 370 on base, 300 hitting, A-. I'm sorry. I mean, like, are we spamming Dom DiMaggio? Yeah. But, like, he should be spammed. Now, he doesn't have a lot of plate appearances, so we'll have to augment him with Vida Pinzone and Bobby Bonds, especially if we're going to bat him leadoff. But again, he lowers it, so we can maybe go with some bigger guys here. First base, we're angling to try to keep as much money possible to get either a big. We could go Keith, but we want a hitter here, so we're going to try to go with a big Mattingly or a big Garvey. There are a couple other options we could possibly swing, but okay, hitters. Do we have any lefties in this lineup? Or switch hitters? We have all righties. Okay. I don't know what guys are off the top of my head, but I'm thinking Dale Murphy. Missed an R here. Dale Murphy is definitely going to have some big years, or Dale Murphy, not Dale Murphy. Did I say Dave Murphy? Dale Murphy is definitely going to have some big years, and he would have been able to. Maybe we should take this Murphy. No, he doesn't really hit enough for us. The thing is like there's such a drop off. There's the banging Murphys. There's the Murphys that's just slamming balls, playing good defense and hitting for power. And then there's this one who's okay. I mean, he has a lot of plate appearances. On base percentage is good glove, bad range. We're gonna put this Dale Murphy in, but we're not sure if we're gonna finish with that Dale Murphy. Okay, I do think there's Dale Parker, Maris. Maris is a lefty that we can put him in this lineup. Okay, like I kind of wonder if we could get this Parker. I mean, this is such a good middle of the lineup, Parker. I mean, this one hits too. He just doesn't have as many plate appearances. You know what? We're gonna take this Dave Parker, and we're gonna put a little thing that says if we have 300K left, we'll go back to Parker. We now have $7 million, and I'm sure there's a big time Mattingly here. That's under 7, or that's 7-ish. But it's like, do I want to change this Murphy out? And part of me does. Like, I'm sure there's an Evans or Okay, we're gonna see if there's a Mattingly or a Garvey hold on. First off, is Garvey a lefty or righty? If Garvey's a righty, he's off the table. Yeah, sorry, Garvey. And you got some good years. This would have been an interesting year to smash Garvey, but we're gonna look at Mattingly. I was gonna say I'm almost worried that he's gonna be too expensive. But we're just probably gonna take this Mattingly, or honestly, even this Mattingly is really good. What's the difference between this one and this one? This one plays every day. This one has a better better on base percentage and a better batting average, and can play us enough. You know what? We're gonna take this Mattingly, 84 Mattingly. We still have $1 million left. Now I know we said that there's a better Hershiser, there's a better Don Larson, although we don't have that much money for Don Larson. But we're gonna go into this second outfield spot, or should we go into this first outfield spot? I'm just trying to think. 1.1 would be 5.2. We wouldn't have been able to get one of those good curve flow rates. Okay, let's go into this Murphy because we weren't really sold on this Murphy. And we'll go max, or we'll go cash left. We're going to be looking at Maris, Evans. Let's see if there's a better Dale that we can afford. And there is. Oh, no, that's Dwayne. Never mind. Okay, let's look at Maris because we know he's a lefty. I think his best years are going to be too expensive. Ooh. We could just bang this here. This 60. I think he wins the MVP that year. And he could field. And he gives us 370. I think this is almost too good to be true. I am going to look at Evans just to say that I did my due diligence, but yeah. Yep. We're going Maris. That's too good of a Roger Maris here to pass up. How much money do we have? We've only $17,000 left. This is perfect. We're gonna create this team, the Hall of Almost. Maybe make a big ballpark because we got some home run hitting, some pitchers that give up give up long balls. But we're gonna create this team. We'll see in a little bit. And now for the Hall of Almost. Behind the plate, 1959, Elston Howard. First base, 1984, Don Mattingly. At second, the 94, Jeff Kent. At the hot corner, 68, Dick Allen. At shortstop, 1984, Dave Concepcion. In the outfield, we got a left fielder, 1960, Roger Maris. Patrolling the center, 1952, Dom DiMaggio. And in right, in 1975, Dave Parker. To the bench. Behind the plate, we got a 1953 Walker Cooper. Playing utility in 1965, Harvey Keene. Middle infielder, Maury Wills backing up. Another infielder, 1960 Al Dark. In the outfield, we got a 1958 Vada Pinzone and a 1978 Bobby Bonds. Now to our starting rotation. Our ace, 1973 Louis Tion. Our number 2 pitcher, 1987 Oral Hershiser, followed by a 1969 Mickey Lolich. Rounding out our rotation is a 1949 Don Newcomb. Now to the bullpen. 1965 Lou Burdett. 1955 Johnny Sane. An 82 Tommy John. A 61 Don Larson. A 2000 Kurt Schilling. A 1967 Roy Face. And closing games, a 1973 Sparky Lyle. Guys, this is the Hall of Almost. Tell me what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Where did I go wrong? Where did I go right? What would you guys have done differently? As always, this is What If Sports. Peace.